Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for another stream on the channel. And this evening we're going to discuss who next for Leicester City, as today Ruud van Nistelrooy departed with Leicester. And could it be Danny Rohl, Sean Dyche, Cifuentes, Michael Carrick? Who next for Leicester City? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Danny Rohl and Sean Dyche are the ones that have been mentioned quite highly, aren't they? Two of the favourites to take the Leicester job. But yeah, a few media sources say one thing, one says another, and there we have it. But guys, always get involved. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. It'll help me out massively if you can do that. And yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up. Right, let's see who's in. Let's see, where are we? Any stream, Yard Link Jack. Will be soon. Craig, how are we, mate? Are you well? Definitely going to be roll. Well, we have a roll in or roll out, you know. Will we roll the dice? Who knows? Or will it be the so-called Ginger Mourinho? Hello, Roll, I think. Yes. Hey, Jack, how on earth do they not have the Nets manager ready to appoint July the 1st? I don't know. It's what you're going to have to ask the club, innit? Is the main thing there. The club have got to know these things. Do you trust the club to make these decisions? There's been a lot of bad ones. Let's be fair, in the last year or so. So it's crazy. Evening, Jack. Top has to be... He doesn't. I think he's getting worse. Terry, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. I've heard the final whistle is in the frame. I will sincerely decline any comment on that because that is not happening. That is false. Wherever you get that information from, it is not true. So I'm basically saying I ain't in the frame for the job. So don't go putting bloody odds on or paying good money to put the final whistle in the frame. Evening, Dallas. How are we, mate? Hope you're well. Are there any other options than Rohl or Dyche? I don't know. Is there? I'm not sure. Cifuentes, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he'd want to have an interview for the job. It wouldn't surprise me if Michael Carrick would be there either. Chris Wilder maybe would want to get back into football. I'm not saying I'd take these type of managers. I'm just saying there's going to be names out there, aren't they? Like and share up. Yeah, like, share, and comment. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please get down and do so. Help me out massively. Hello on YouTube. Hello on X. Get your comments in as always. Who do you want next as Leicester City manager? We're going to discuss it. We're even going to go back to 10 o'clock this morning when the news got announced that Ruud van Nistelrooy had departed Leicester City. So, yeah, let's chat. Let's chat. Can't believe they haven't planned ahead considering pre-season starts on Monday. It's a mess. I agree. Leicester City are very much in limbo, aren't they? The planning and the kit's not come out yet, has it? It's not really a big thing, is it, the kit? But the thing is, pre-season games have been announced, 3? Fiorentina, Peterborough and Leuven. 3's not enough for a bloody pre-season, is it? Let's be fair. They might as well get them on Bradgate Park running up Old John, for God's sake. You know what I mean? They might as well get them playing against bloody Anstey. No matter awesome if they can't find any other team to play against. But no, it is a mess. It is. Pre-season is just around the corner. It does start Monday. Andy King is believed to be taking training and that. I believe Jelly's still at the club. Obviously, there is interest in from Brighton. Whether he leaves or not is another thing. But apparently Ruud van Nistelrooy got told that mutual consent from Leicester over Zoom. Which is what a way to bloody sack somebody, eh? That shows incompetence again. The thing is, this Ruud van Nistelrooy saga should have ended when we got relegated. To be fair, in reasonable circumstances, it should have been done then. We've been relegated 9.5 weeks, should we put it down as? And Leicester left it rolling and rolling and rolling on with everything. There was no word from the club. Ruud van Nistelrooy said, I've had no comment from the club. Make of it what you will, because there's just no planning. Sean Dyche, short term, but he won't accept that. Sean Dyche will be on Premier League wages in money for a manager. You know, he's going to be like wanting to be the highest paid manager. Sean Dyche is a firefighter these days. He's like a bloody Sam Allardyce, isn't he? He'll come in and save your ass from relegation or something. Leicester are not going to. Well, I hope we don't bloody turn into a Luton Town next season. But yeah, every club talks about long term, don't they? But we even spoke about that with Steve Cooper long term, and bloody that last 12 games, and then Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in, and it's just a shambles from the off. But it is crazy. Danny, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. Rolling and rocking out. And there's so much as fans can endure. Well, some accountability needs to be held. Let's be honest about that one as well. Jason, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. Could try another pet disciple. See, no one knew anything about Enzo Maresca. They knew that he'd done all right at the Manchester City under-23s. He was obviously Pep's number 2 and everything like that. And he was a name that no one ever thought of. I remember when, before they appointed him, no linking us with Scott Parker and managers like that. And you're thinking, what else have we got? Who else can you appoint? Dave, how are we, mate? Been by the stadium, saw someone who just looked like Wilder near there. Well, everyone has the lookalikes. What about the points deduction? Well, we've got 3 charges to our name, haven't we? I think I don't know if we'll hear anything before the start of the season, but Leicester have got to get off to a good winning run, haven't they? When the season starts, we've got to get enough points before this points deduction comes, because it's going to be significant, is what they are reporting. It's going to be significant points deduction for Leicester City. They're going to want to make a mockery of us, aren't they? The Premier League, the EFL. I don't know. But on a serious note, Roll has to be the next man. Roll the dice. Well, there's only so many times you can roll the dice in football until you get it right. Hello, Andres. How are we, mate? Evening, all. Evening, Andrew. How are we, mate? Hope you're good. Did Sheffield Wednesday make their payroll? Is Roll's contract still valid? Maybe we can get him on free. Well, listening to what's been reported in Yorkshire regarding the Star and that, they're saying that Danny Rohl is in talks to end his contract with Sheffield Wednesday. Whether it's a sacking, whether he just leaves on a free, who knows? But at this minute in time, Danny Rohl's compensation is £1 million. 1 mil. What we brought Jamie Vardy for, £1 million. That's how much the compensation is as we speak. Danny Rohl, I believe, if he does leave Sheffield Wednesday, which very much looks like he is going to, Leicester wouldn't have to pay that compensation free. We'd get him on a free. His coaching staff are out of contract on Monday. I believe Chris Powell's there as well, ex-Leicester. So, yeah, Leicester would get the coaches on a free as well. I believe Pedersen, who's Sheffield Wednesday's assistant, Brentford are looking at him. So, I'm not sure. I have to say, I'm glad the manager is gone. I didn't like him. Well, we thought he had some bloody aura about him at the start with his bloody dancing moves and his dress sense, you know what I mean? The bloody turtleneck, bloody jumpers and that, you know what I mean? But his football just didn't work, did it? He came into a mess. Let's be honest, he didn't get back to January Van Nistelrooy. which is harsh. But this is the club again. They tell these managers different things, but they can't stick to the word. They lie straight through the teeth. And that is not how you run a football club. And when you bring in managers in, let's be fair, you've got to be straight honest and straight up about it. But Ruud didn't help himself. Let's be fair, he goes down probably as one of Leicester's worst ever managers. Some would probably say the worst. 9 home games defeats without scoring. We've bloody passed some of these bloody top flight records, which are utter embarrassment, to be honest, last season. We didn't look like scoring at all. He wanted us to defend. We couldn't. And we were getting slapped up pillar to post last season in the Premier League. And things just never got better. They didn't. But then as a manager, you've got to get the best out of what you've got with the tools. But Ruud didn't. Every game you'd see him just walk down the tunnel or even laugh with opposition players, and then straight off you go, Ruud, turn the back on the fans, don't even say thank you for coming, just see you boys, I'm off. You know, that just shows he can't handle the fucking pressure. Evening, Jack. Sausage roll, anyone, mate? Well, Greg's is all right, isn't it? Every Leicester fan said, watch out for Roy. I don't even know who that is. Danny Rohl would be a good shout to be next Leicester manager of Leicester City. Big up, Rob. Hope you're well, mate. Welcome to the channel, mate. I really appreciate it. Jack, sorry about the wind-up. Honestly, you can't wind me up, mate. You're mad. We want someone with clout. Well, give me Big Sam. Now you're desperate. Now you are desperate. Jesus. Sam Allardyce, you might as well get bloody Neil Warnock out of retirement. Do you know what I mean? They might as well appoint bloody Mark Hughes. You're desperate. You really are desperate. Someone called 999 for that move. Sheffield Wednesday forum said it will cost $5 million to get Rohl. Hopefully, Rohl walks out as their club is sinking fast. Well, the reports in the Sheffield Star are saying that he's in talks to end his future at Sheffield Wednesday. So maybe it's a good thing for Leicester City, because I think we'd be straight on him, to be fair. Rohl would be a good manager for Leicester. £1 million is nothing. Has to be Danny Rohl. No, Sean. Well, whoever we get in charge is doomed with the Chuckle brothers at the helm. Hashtag King Power out. Hashtag Rudkin out. Interesting one there. The thing is, they've not helped themselves. No name. Let's be fair. These decisions, what they've made, they've got to be accountable for. You know, it just feels like everything's been swept under the carpet. Like nothing's happened. There's just been nothing. No communication or anything like that. And this is what's frustrating with the fans, to say the least. It's the fact that they're not even communicating whatsoever. There's just no comment from the club of what is going on. How can you change it? What is the plan for next season? Sorry, my phone is going off. It's crazy, honestly. Evening, Jack. Evening, Dawn. Hope you're well. Ruud was worse than Frank McClintock. Bloody hell, I think older Leicester fans' heads would roll with that comment, let's be fair. Frank McClintock, some of the older heads would remember him. What was he, the 70s? Frank McClintock, I'm bloody too young to remember that guy, mate. I wasn't even born or even thought of at that point. So if Rohl ends up as the new Leicester City manager, Rohl would bring all his backroom staff in. Sasha Lindsay, Henrik Pedersen, Chris Powell, goalkeeping coach, Sal Bibao. Interesting. I'm trying to bloody get the Rob Tanner's thing up. I'm just trying to get it up. I mean, it says I've got to pay £1, but it might be worth paying, to be fair. I mean, £1's a pound. I don't mind, but I'm just trying to get it up. I'm trying to bloody log in, if I'm honest with you. I don't know what's bloody happening. I've lost my bloody bearings here. Ruud didn't have a clue and lost far too many fans. Yeah. When do you think we will hear, Jack, who it will be? $1 million question. I'm not the man to answer that. Ask John Rudkin. Ask Top. when that's going to happen, because I ain't got a clue. I'm in the same boat as all of you here. I ain't got a clue when this new manager is going to be appointed. You know, I would have hoped they would have somebody lined up, but it proves it with Andy King being put in training and that, until they have got a new manager. But there's so much pressure on Leicester City that they have to get the right man fast. Pre-season starts, Monday? The first game's on the 5th. Didn't have a clue. Yeah. Neil Warner would be bloody interested, especially being a Sheffield United legend. Well, I remember the comments he made at Leicester City once upon a time. How about this Big Sam assistant, Neil? Evening chat, Rohl would probably walk. Looks like he's not getting paid again this month. Yeah. And that'd be good for Leicester, because if he walks or he's sacked, resigns, whatever, we wouldn't have to pay the compensation, which is a good thing. It would save us money. I'm not saying £1 million a bad thing, but I'm sound. Cheers, Jack, yourself, dude. At least we wouldn't end up like another Mike Bassett as your next boss. Jesus Christ, Mike Bassett. Wow. Top rookie and board can't get away with it much longer. More and more as they're seeing in shambles. Do you know what Talk Sport was on about it? So I think it was Scott Minto. They say it's an absolute shambles at Leicester. They said they'd be surprised how many managers would actually queue up to manage Leicester City. And I agree. I do. Because in the mess that we're in, PSR and how they've ran things, 2 managers in a season and all that, it's madness. If Rohl is going from Sheffield Wednesday, they must be ready to get him in the minute he leaves. Well, I bloody hope they are. I hope they bloody got the bloody nice car outside to pick him up and bring him to Leicester. Probably be next week, and I'll probably watch the game next Saturday evening. I think it's going to be King. Andy King. Kingy, I love him to bits. Club legend and everything like that. Love King. I just don't think we can put him in that position. I don't think it's fair. I don't. Leicester need an actual manager who's been in the Championship and that, who's got the real experience of it. King is still learning. I think he'll still learn a lot more about being a coach and that. But yeah, for me, I don't think we should ever be putting King in that position. It just isn't fair. And if he does, it just shows how far we've actually fallen with how in desperate need we are in. We can't appoint a manager or no one will come. So we've got just the last resort, basically, which is not fair on Kingy at all. What manager with a brain cell is going to want to work with someone like John Rudkin? That's my biggest concern. Well, Sean Dyche is good friends with him, I've heard. So how about the current England manager? Get Rohl. Why do we always faff about? Exactly. I'd get Danny Rohl on speed dial and say, as soon as you finish with Wednesday, mate, come here. Dyche is on his way. Do you know what? There's been many reports, haven't they, with Sean Dyche today. Sky Sports said that he's keen to talk to Leicester. John Percy said Sean Dyche isn't even thought of by Leicester. And other report, I think it was Liverpool Echo, to say that he's not interested. And then there's other reports to say, well, he could be. He's been in talks with Leicester. I think it was like the Sun or whatever it was reported. I don't bloody know. I'm going to Spain on July the 14th. Bet we're still managerless. Do you think they won't get a manager or release it? Will be the 1st of July. I'm not sure. Nah, won't be King. Hopefully, won't be Dyche either. Because if he is Dyche, we might as well just take a sleeping bag when we get out of the KP. Danny Rohl is not linked with any other English clubs, so I've seen. Yeah, Danny Rohl, he's been very much with German football, hasn't he? The Bundesliga, I think at Wolfsburg and Leipzig were interested, but then they ended up getting new managers. Middlesbrough was one that reportedly had talks with him. They didn't want him either, for whatever reason. And Leicester City have been linked with him as well. So, I don't know. Michael Carrick would be another option to go with the next boss. He's more of Enzo Maresca's style of football, isn't he? Possession-based, and stuff like that. So, I agree with you about King. If Dyche comes in, it will be a return of hoofball and no youths. That's the thing. We need to bring in a manager who's going to be good with the youth setup next season. You've got Monga coming in. You've got Ben Nelson. Who else have we got? Will Alves. We've got young players coming through, Aluko, and players who we can very much use to our advantage next season and getting them first team football and being consistent with it. I think this is where we've got to go next season, bringing the youth through. Jake Evans, another one. Ex-Huddersfield and Norwich boss, David Wagner. Be interesting one for Leicester City. Norwich fans hated him, though. They didn't like his style of football or anything. Norwich City fans. I don't see us going for that. He got Huddersfield to the Premier League, though, didn't he? What was it? Via the playoffs? Yes, mate, I did. Rohl was interviewed for Southampton. Yeah, yes, he was. But they ended up going for Will Still. The thing is, though, Armchair, do you kind of think that he was actually put off with Southampton regarding the compensation thing? We need to start somewhere, Jack. Draw a line in the sand. We do. We need to bloody start somewhere. It's Dyche. We'll see. We will see what happens, Edo. Big up for coming in, by the way. Really appreciate it. Andy Hughes and Wagner reunited. It's just a swinging roundabouts at the minute, isn't it? Everything's just pure speculation. We will have many managers who will probably want to get interviewed for their Leicester job somewhere you probably wouldn't even fancy at all. The timing of us with the sacking of Ruud the day after the Rohl departure talks feels like something is there. Maybe it is. Who knows? Rohl is interesting, but Dyche is safer. Do you know what, Larry? Dyche has been in this situation before with Burnley. Minimal resources at Burnley. He got them from the Championship to the Premier League, stayed with Burnley when they got relegated and got them back up. He's worked in some tough times at Burnley, Sean Dyche, and he's had to really build his own squad. He did. He even got them to Europe. Who'd have thought Burnley going to Europe? But then again, who'd have thought Leicester would go on and win the title? It's magical, isn't it, to be fair, with how things actually work out sometimes in football. I heard Dyche wants to go. Danny Rohl wants to go to Bundesliga. How about, Jack, from the final whistle? You sat in the chair before on the tour. Yeah, I'm not one to bloody manage on the touchline. I don't think the pressure would actually do me any good. Can't see you getting Danny Rohl with, Sheffield Wednesday are in a shit position and all, aren't they? Is it something to do with HMRC today, Matt? Regarding Sheffield Wednesday, something to do with the taxpayers or something? Chanzeri. It's madness with a transfer embargo and that, isn't it? That's going on at Sheffield Wednesday. They're in a real mess. And I think the club staff are not even being paid either. Ones that ain't even a part of the football team. I read he was offered Southampton but couldn't commit as such an early stage. It's madness. It's crazy. Damien Duff quit his job on the 22nd of June. I believe he's going to Brentford, though, to work with, was it Keith Andrews now they've got, haven't they, Brentford? Sacking Ruud over Zoom call is farcical. It is. It's not bloody the way it should have been done. Let's be fair. It should have been done after the Bournemouth game. Rudkin was at Bournemouth. So it should have been done quite sooner, but Sheffield Wednesday not paid for 2 months. That is just crazy. Wilder's not in the mix. He just get over 90 points. The thing is, Wilder's a good championship manager, isn't he? He's proved it at Sheffield United, but then he did have some good players at Sheffield United to really get him through his time, didn't he? Got them to the playoffs, got them to the Premier League. So he has got very good experience, vast experience at the championship level, Chris Wilder. But the thing is with Leicester, they want a sort of Enzo Maresca style of football again, don't they? I just don't understand the whole philosophy. You go from Enzo football to Steve Cooper low block football to then Van Nistelrooy football, and it's just, it's crazy. My opinion, I think is ready to once again. We need somebody who is ready to put their backs to the wall, because that's what this situation is. It's a backs to the wall sort of thing at Leicester, where it's going to be tough, but you need that one man to come in and change the whole landscape of it. You've got the training ground with how things are going there with the players, and that someone strong-minded character has got to make them players want to play football, make them run the hard yards, work hard, do everything. Sean Dyche did that at Burnley, and he did it at Everton as well. And if they didn't, they were gone. So who knows? Dyche on a 2-year contract. The thing is, though, Edom, how much wages is that one going to cost? Is the big question. If the staff at Sheffield Wednesday were not paid this month, they can leave for free. Exactly. Yeah. Danny Rohl would be one to leave on a free. I read something about Danny Rohl's. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that, Danny. If the club want Enzo Ball, then Carrick is the man. It wasn't really admiration football with Michael Carrick at Borough. It worked to an extent, but then it never really worked out in the end. I think when Latte left, they didn't really get a striker in, did they? What did they bring in? Iheanacho. That didn't work out either. Kelechi. I just didn't think Cal wanted to be there, to be fair. Let's be fair. Well, yeah. He's shopped at Foss Park a few times. He has been at Foss Park a few times, I've heard, at Edom. Sean Dyche doesn't live far. He lives in Northampton, doesn't he? So it's not really far for Sean Dyche, is it? But the thing is, he's going to want bloody Premier League wages, isn't he? That's the problem. He's going to want real Premier League wages, and this is what gets it. This is the issue with Leicester. They need a proven manager in the Championship. Someone maybe we've not thought of, or someone who is young, up and coming, who's not a given name. Because if you look at Van Nistelrooy, you look at the Rooneys, you look at the Lampards, you look at the Gerrards, they get jobs in football quite easily because of the name they was as a player. Ruud, we're never prepared for that situation at Leicester, was he? Let's be fair. We did take a big gamble. Please don't mention Carrick is another bloody Man United reject. Well, I'm going to say something to you, Paul. Danny Rohl worked at Southampton, and how many times have Leicester shopped at Southampton? There's another one for you. Danny Rohl worked under Ralph Hasenhüttl at Southampton, by the way, if no one actually remembers. So, yeah, that's another one that is an interesting one. It's crazy, though, isn't it? How things seem to work out in the end. It is. I'm trying to bloody... I'm telling you now, we need to get the manager... Well, we need to get bloody someone in, let's be fair. But let's have a look at some of the reports from today then. Leicester have finally informed Ruud van Nistelrooy of the decision. They will be parting ways. Ruud is believed to be getting his compensation on July the 1st, or just after. Sheffield Wednesday's Danny Rohl will emerge as a possible target despite fears over the amount of compensation required if he remains at the Championship rival club. Sources have dismissed the prospect of former Everton and Burnley manager Sean Dyche taking charge. Well, that's according to John Percy. Obviously, Sky Sports said different today, didn't they? That he would be keen to talk to Leicester about the job. So, I don't know. These agents are going to be working bloody well, aren't they? Another one on Rohl. Glover and Rohl were at Southampton around the same sort of time, and rumour Glover rates him highly. Glover's still at Leicester, isn't he? Frank, who do you want? Do you know what? I wouldn't say no to either, I don't think. Sean Dyche would be a strong character. He'd ruffle a few feathers up at Seagrave, let's be fair. He's the closest you get to Nigel Pearson, let's be honest. Big, strong-minded character, and he'd take no messing. You either do what you're told or you're out the door. He's that type of manager. What did they call it? Brexit ball or whatever it is. He used to play two strikers up front, didn't he, at Burnley? So, yeah, interesting one. But Danny Rohl, young up-and-coming manager, he's worked his way from the bloody bottom. He's worked under some top coaches, by the way, Danny Rohl. And, you know, he's done what he's done at Sheffield Wednesday. I know some people say, yeah, but it's not much appetizing, is it, doing what he's done? But the thing is, he made them escape from relegation. They should have been relegated in that December. They didn't look like winning another game at all. And that was a massive turnaround, a big, big job to go in there and do what he did at Sheffield Wednesday. They looked down and out for that situation that they were in, and they looked finished. He's had to work with his tools, hasn't he, Danny Rohl? And he's obviously getting the best out of what he's got. And he has. He's had minimal resources, and he's done what he's brought in to do. This season, yeah, I mean, they was once up there with the playoffs, weren't they, at one point in the season? But it hasn't worked out, has it? The relationship with Shanziri is very much broken down, and I think that bloody would for any manager going in at Sheffield Wednesday at the minute. I think if Nigel Pearson bloody went in at Sheffield Wednesday, he'd have a problem with Shanziri, you know, the way things are being run in that. Danny Rohl obviously wants out to Sheffield Wednesday. He doesn't see his future there. There is talks that the contract will and his future will be sorted, and I don't know how imminent that is. Talks are going on with Sheffield Wednesday. That's according to the Sheffield Star. So I'm not sure. Is Top still on the board at the club, or has he been moved? Where's the owner of the football club, isn't he? John Rudkin's director of football. Susan Whelan just does the general day-to-day stuff now. Yeah, he is. Why I think Rohl could have a good chance. Exactly, yeah. Rohl would be cheaper than Dyche. If we paid £1 million, well, that's even if he stayed at Sheffield Wednesday. If he didn't, we didn't have to pay that. But it'd be a cheaper appointment, in my opinion. Tell the truth, Jack. You want Rohl, really? Do you know what? I want a manager who's going to come in and do the job. Really sort this out. Do you get what I mean? I wouldn't say no to Danny Rohl armchair. I know you believe me, Danny Rohl are best friends or whatever it is. The way I've said that I'd like Danny Rohl at Leicester, but the thing is, we need a manager who the club want to know what the style of football is. We've got to bring the right style of profiling, the right players to suit that profile. You know, this is what we've got to be looking at. And this is what we've got horribly wrong. You know, when we had Steve Cooper, we went for a bloody low block style of football, wasn't even close to Enzo Maresca. Then we brought in Oliver Stippen there and spent some real good money on some waste. Let's be fair. Would you see ex-Fox's Leighton Orient manager return to the club? Oh, when I was talking to Richie Wellens, and he said if Leicester City ever offered him the job, sorry, the sun's in my bloody eyes. He said that if Leicester ever offered him the job, he wouldn't say no. I think it'd be too soon in his career, though, to take a job like Leicester. Danny Rohl to do as well as when the team that exactly, yeah. People say that about Rohl, but look at what Dyche has done of late. Everton were woeful the past season under him. Look it up. Turn Everton had under Moyes says a lot. Exactly. Dyche's football only works to an extent now. David Moyes went in there, changed everything. But Dyche's got pedigree in the Championship. He has. No disrespect about it. He's got pedigree. He knows what he wants and how to get it. You know, he's a strict manager. He's very much straight to the point. And we've got to bloody find a way of winning games last season, because last season we were very much... Dyche will command £4 million. That's probably in wages. That's what I'm saying. He's going to come with wages. He'll probably want to be the most paid manager in the Championship to come and work with Leicester. And that's seeing Leicester as vulnerability at this point, you know. And that's where King Power have done a deal with AOT Payment Day. So hopefully that's one thing Leicester worry about. Yeah, they've agreed the deal, haven't they, with the airports of Thailand, King Power, which hopefully... that's now sorted, because King Power was in a bit of a pickle, weren't they, regarding everything, Larry? Ange Postecoglou and Sean Dyche are in my top list, especially Chris Wilder. Ange, that's another one that want big money. Great news, Larry. It is. It is. But it's what actually happens. This is the thing going forward. I've looked at Henry Winter's comments today before we move on. So Henry Winter said Leicester City owe their fans an explanation as to why it's took so long to announce a decision on parting company with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Right decision, but why the wait? It was clear a change was needed at the end of the season. Maybe it's to do with financial calendar or a pursuit of successor, but Ruud didn't deserve being left in a limbo like this, exactly. I think he should have been treated a lot more better in this situation. The fans didn't deserve the uncertainty. Recruitment and outgoings would have been complicated / delayed. Leicester have to get their next appointment right. Spot on. Much is right about the club, stadium, training ground, fan base, some of the players, academy, community operation, but the mismanagement at board level is deeply frustrating. It is. And Henry's spot on with how he's analysed Leicester City there, in my opinion. It's frustrating to say the least, isn't it, in how things are being developed. Reese, are you still in the comments, by the way? Are you still in the comments? I don't know if you are. I don't know if you've left. Do you think no, not a chance. Not a chance. Not for me. I think last time Leicester faced Gerrard? With Tete at Leicester? I think he was. I swear that was the bloody infamous one-game wonder. That's what I'm thinking of. Rich, how are we, mate? The ball trimming of managers has been poor. The board have lied to more than one manager on transfers. Ruud had no chance, but didn't help himself. Exactly. You know, this sort of argument goes both ways, doesn't it? There is a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of mismanagement. There's a lot of accountability that needs to be had. You know, a lot of questions that need to be answered at Leicester City Football Club. And the thing is, Ruud didn't help himself. He played the bloody same team until the bloody Brighton game. And then he dropped at bloody Caleb Akoli and Mavididi. This is what's frustrating with Ruud. He keep with the same team, even though we're getting bloody battered pillar to post every game. And you're thinking to yourself, how do you change it? And Ruud's like, the only way I'm changing this, mate, is keeping the same way, and we're not changing it anymore. It's difficult. It's a difficult situation. He didn't help himself. Some of the comments that he made, didn't even thank the fans for travelling or anything like that. A lot of bizarre reasoning of what were going on. It's just no accountability whatsoever. I think he said with this squad, it's like bloody managing bloody Mount Everest or something. This is it. There needs to be synergy and continuity at the club between the ownership, the board, the coaches, the players and the fans, and that has to start at the top. I agree very much with that comment, Ray. Our next manager needs to be more than a good coach. That's why it has to be Dyche on this occasion. Strong character, then Top and Rudkin, who won't be dictated to. Do you really think, though, that Rudkin would want to be dictated by a bloody Sean Dyche? Do you think this is the thing that you got to take into consideration as well? Rudkin won't want to be told what to do, and this is it. You don't want a yes man. That's just silly. You know, you look at England, the FA and that, they're bringing yes mans. You know what I mean? You want a manager who wants to succeed, who wants to build a pathway, who wants to build something for himself, who can help the club, generate the club and get it back to where it needs to be. A lot of conversations to be had, a lot of questions the manager has. Answer them, be honest, be truthful and get on with it. Is Steve Cooper bound to return? No, he's not. Mate, Rudkin and Dyche are good friends. It will end in disaster. Well, this is it. And one of the reports were, while reading earlier, Rudkin bloody wants one man and Top wants another. So it's like, what is going on? Like, who he even is picking these managers? Rookie bloody picked Cooper, and look how that ended. Top pick Van Nistelrooy. Look how that ended. It just feels like with Leicester, we panic. We don't have the thought process in when we appoint these managers. We need to know, when we've not got a manager, what is the style of football? What is the plan, the philosophy? What do you want to get out of it? And there's none of that. What players fit the profile, and how do you get from A to B? And this is what we've very much struggled with, and this is what we're showing. If we sign Danny, what reception would he get from Sheffield Wednesday fans when we play at home? Well, I seen a tweet earlier on. I think one of my mates bloody commented in it or something. Something about there were a fan who said we'd get bloody inflatable snakes out. And I'm like, what? It's Whelan's turn to pick the manager. Well, the thing is, weren't she in charge of it, Armchair, at one point? Helping pick the managers until Rookin came in as director of football. I know she sorted the Harry Maguire deal and the Fofana one. But didn't she hire Sven? Didn't she help hire Sven Goran Eriksson at one point? I know. It's crazy. Didn't say Rudy Jag goes daft if you mentioned him. Hey, I didn't mention him. I've not mentioned him. He goes well past my thought process, my friend. Let's be fair. Way past my thought process. Plymouth, Birmingham. Look how that ended up. Not my cup of tea. Honestly. Chance to give Vardy yeah, it's just no. Yeah. Alan Pardew or Neil Warnock as a short-term boss. GDO, we are desperate. We are desperate if you're thinking about that. To be fair, some of them don't blame Rohl if he goes. Give the state to their own, exactly. Not unpopular, but if Rookin is director of football and he should choose the manager, Top has employed a... I'm not sure. I really am not sure on that, Larry, but there's just no communication. There's just no... Like, what did they do in the board meeting? What did they do in the board meeting when they come to appointing managers? They're just... Yeah, well, that one could have happened back when Brendan Rodgers left the club by mutual consent. That one could have very much happened, Jesse Marsh. And you know what his plan was and why he said he wouldn't take the Leicester job? Because they had no strategy in the Championship. He didn't know what the plan was, or they didn't know what the plan was for the Championship. That's why he didn't take the Leicester job, because there was no plan, no thought process in what they wanted for that season. Roy Hodgson, Jesus Christ, now you are bloody pulling the bloody plug. But actually, talking about plugs, my bloody laptop's about dead. I'm going to have to bloody charge it, aren't I? Bloody end up going off at this rate. But let's have a look what the Sheffield Star has said. Understand that Danny Rohl is indeed one of the names in the running for the Leicester job. His negotiations over a Sheffield Wednesday exit could make things easier if the Foxes do pursue his signature. So he is in there, and that is according to Joe Cran from the Sheffield Star. Do you know what, Bielsa? He did a good job at Leeds. He did do a good job at Leeds, you know. Pep Guardiola loved him, very much loved him. Bielsa, Guardiola. There was a few top managers who loved him. His style of play, the way he'd get everything out in the open. But I'm not sure how this one's going to go, to be honest. What I'm trying to get up is, what have I seen today? What have I seen? Give me a second. I'm just having a look at Joe Cran. Where is it? Let me have a look. So, Joe Cran has said Leicester City are interested in Danny Rohl as favourites ruled out. Apparently, Sean Dyche is ruled out, according to the Sheffield Star. Sheffield Wednesday, Danny Rohl is one of the names currently in the running for the Leicester City job. He's currently in discussions with the Owls about potential exit from Hillsborough. Has been linked with the Foxes before, however, fell behind Sean Dyche in the list of favourites while Ruud van Nistelrooy remained in situation. Now, though, with Ruud moved on, Dyche is not a name that could take over at the King Power Stadium, suggesting that is from the Telegraph, is what John Percy said earlier. It is understood that is already the case, though, with Leicester believed to be keen on exploring the German as an option in their hunt for a new manager, and his pending Hillsborough exit could make things easier if they decide actively to pursue it. So, yeah, that's according to the Sheffield Star. Mick McCarthy. Could you imagine that? Mick McCarthy. 1 win in 17. It can't go on like this, can it, Mick? It can. Do you know what I mean? It can't go on like this, can it? It can. I mean, that meme. Yeah, I think there was a bloody flag of that. It bloody Glastonbury. Can't go on like this, can it? It can. The Enzo appointment seems so different than anything else this board has ever done. Bielsa under pressure. Players don't want to play for him. Fair enough. Michael Carrick. I think I discussed Michael Carrick. It didn't really work out in the end of his tenure at Middlesbrough. Frustrating, to say the least. Struggled to really change things when it needed doing. It reminds me of bloody Leicester City, that. Need changing when needs doing. But, yeah, it's mad. It is crazy. But Richard Keys, not very likeable character, if I'm honest. But we're going to have a look at his tweet and what he said anyway. Why aren't Leicester City firing John Rudkin along with Ruud van Nistelrooy? How many bad appointments can he get away with? These decisions cost millions. Why aren't people accountable for them? There isn't another business in the world where failure is protected like it is in football. Well, the fans have been asking for Rudkin out for a very long time. Let's be fair, Mr. Keys. But yeah, that is another one. Roll shortening in the betting along with Wilder. Is it? What's that on? This is the worst it's been from Rudders. Roll should have been tied up a long time ago. They knew Ruud was going. Fabio Capello, I ain't seen him in time since he managed England. Where's he at these days? It's crazy, honestly. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who does take the hot seat at Leicester City. Will it be Danny Rohl? Will it be Sean Dyche? It remains to be seen what Leicester City now have got up their sleeve. Well said. Well, yeah. But the big question is, what now for Leicester? Maybe any more pre-season games? When is the shirt coming out? We all want to know when the bloody shirt's coming out. Jesus, for all the ones that buy it every year, they want to know when it's coming out. Yeah, what is the plan for pre-season? Who will be the new manager and how quick are we actually going to appoint him is the main thing. Let's see what happens. Is Ruud van Nistelrooy has now departed Leicester City. Compensation expected to be paid around July the 1st and that, according to Ben Jacobs. So, yeah, Ruud's gone. Who next in the hot seat at Leicester City is the big question. Will Leicester roll in or roll out? Or will they have other ideas? Let me know in the comments who you'd want as manager for Leicester City in the next one. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. It'd help me out massively if you can do that. What is coming up on the final whistle? Well, we're going to do a few transfer streams when we do bloody get started with transfers, the ins and outs. There's been rumours about Connor Cody, haven't there, with advanced talks with Rangers. It's believed to be that could end up getting sorted next week. So hopefully when Tuesday comes and July the 1st comes, there'll be a lot of free agents coming out of there for the contracts at Leicester. There's obviously going to be contracts ending for other clubs as well on June the 30th. So could we pick up a good few free agents maybe? Please not bloody the age of bloody 35 or something, for God's sake. But yeah, interesting. Like and subscribe to the channel if you can. Really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone coming in. Armchair, Terry, Reese, Ross, everyone like that. But big up everyone on X who's joined in as well. Big up to everyone who's watched. Follow us on X if you haven't followed us already. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And that is it from me. Take care. Have a great rest of the evening wherever you're up to. and keep it at the final whistle.